Please start by going second plus 7, 1, 2, and we can see now that we're going to go back to what we started today with, which is going to be a regression. Please circle where it says linear model. So this is where I made a mistake. In the previous hour, I typed things in too quickly, and instead of writing 8,500, I wrote 85,000. It definitely threw off my answer. So are you ready? Here we go. Please go stats and edit. I'm going to type in 0 through 10 for the input values. And I'm definitely going to take time slowly to check. And then I'm going to type in the output values. We do not put in commas when we type in the output values. This problem says a new car was purchased in 1995 for $18,500. The blue book value of the car for each year after is listed. So after you've finished plugging those in, what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to circle. This is going to be important, or highlight, excuse me. This is the initial year. So if you've forgotten how to do this from Algebra 3-4, that means the initial year is 1995. Every year past that, this would be, for instance, 96, 97. I'm not going to keep going. You get the idea. So just like we did for the previous example, we need to somehow graph this, but it doesn't give me an equation like the previous example. We're going to use a linear regression model in order to come up with an equation. So if you are in class with me right now, we are following what's in blue. So after I've put in the input and outputs and I've checked for accuracy, I'm going to go stat, calculate, and I'm going down to linear regression because it's a linear model. Then I'm going to press enter all the way through. The next thing I'm going to teach you is how do you take this up here and copy and paste it into the calculator. Everybody looking up here. How do I take this and copy and paste it in? To do that, you're going to go up to y equals. That is step number 1. Step 2 is there's a button called vars. You're going to hit vars. All the directions are on the board. Step 3 is we're going to go down to statistics, which is number 5. Step 4 is we're going to use the arrow to go to EQ, and we're going to press enter on the bottom right-hand corner. And we now have the equation that we have copied and pasted in. How am I going to use this? Well, one is first I need to find a good way to see this. So can everybody go to Windows? We're going to start at 0. 0 is 1995. Now we're going to glance down below. From 95 to 2003 is a difference of 7. I have to at least go out to 7. From 95 until 2010 is a difference of 15. I need to at least go out to 15. Let's go all the way out to 20 just to be safe. Now, if the car goes up to 18,500, we can see it's decreasing over time. Let's change this window to go from 0 to 20,000 just so we can see it all. So please make sure that you have the exact same that I do. And hit graph. Now I'm just going to graph it. So I went from 0 to 20, so I can see this, and I went from 0 to 20,000. Now you're like, what if I went from 0 to 19,000? That's okay. By the way, this is when the car is not worth anything. It's now worth 0. And this is the initial or the most it's worth when it's brand new. We are ready. Okay, are you ready? You're going to grab that highlighter. Please highlight it where it says what value. So that's saying how much money, what value. Value is, look at this. This is your y, and this is like your x. So value is the y value. We want to know what is y equal to when x or t is 2003. Now we can't plug in 2003 because notice that 2003, it needs to be in terms of year. So we're going to take 2003, you're writing this down, and we're going to subtract that initial year. You're always subtracting the initial year. So here, t is 2003, subtract 1995 is a difference of 8. This is what I'm plugging into my calculator to get a y value. How do we do it on the calculator? Second, calculate value 8. So $6,904.55. Got it. How many of you had the exact same value? Thumbs up. Okay, Let's do the next one. Highlight, please. What is the value? So here we go. Y equals. Now, how do we figure out this T? We always take what we're trying to find, which is 2010, and we're going to subtract it from this initial year. In this case, it's 1995. So when I subtract, I end up with 15. I want to know when T is 15, what is the value of the car? Second, calculate value 15. Uh-oh, there's a problem. What's the problem here? It's a negative. Do we keep track of cars' values when it goes under 0? Okay, the car has no value. In 2010, according to this model, the car, has no value. In 2010, according to this model, it's important that you say according. By the way, in AP Pre-Calculus, just an answer with no explanation gets you 0 points, not even a half of a point. That's how it is graded. So it doesn't have to be a long statement. It can be very short. We're not looking for correct grammar. But in 2010, according to this model, the car would have no value. Okay, next up. Here we go. How many years and days? Okay, is that an X or a Y part? How many years and days? Is time X or Y? X. So whether you say X or you say T, let's write that down. And our Y value is 5,000. I personally like when they give us the Y's because we get to go up to Y equals. We're not going to eliminate the first equation. We're going to type in 5,000. And let's see, are we able to see where the two cross? We can. So how do we find that intersection? Second, calculate intersect. Enter, enter, enter. And now, before I write this down, by the way, I'm going to come off to the side and write 9.3648208. I'm going to write that down. Okay? When I look at this, this is the exact number of years. So there are 9 years. Now, I can't say 0.3648208. This has to be turned into days. We learned that in lesson 1. So how many days are there in a year? There's 365. So I'm typing in that decimal or that partial year, and I'm taking it times 365. We have approximately 133.15. 133.15 days. I want you to go back to the graph and look what I pointed up to right here. Ready? If you're the tallest person in your group of 2, what does this represent? Go, you have 5 seconds. What does this represent, what I'm pointing to? What does this represent? When the car is brand new, it's worth the most. Okay, if you're the shortest person in your group, what does this represent? Initial value, and this is why it's worth nothing. Okay, please go back to graph. I want to know right here when it's worth nothing. This is the x-intercept, also known as the 0. With me, please go. Second, calculate 0. So I'm going to choose any number over here like 5. I'm going to choose any number over here like, I don't know, 12. Oop, that wasn't far enough. Does everybody see how this example, how it wasn't far enough? I need to start again. Second, calculate 0. I can use 5, but 12 wasn't far enough. Let's go with 14. Okay, now it's far enough. And you're like, what is she talking about? Those lines have to be to the left and to the right of that 0. I press enter. Here's my answer. In what year? This would be wrong. This is not a year. It's a number of years. It doesn't say how many years. It says in what year. This is the year 2025. The car was brand new in 1995. So if I take this and I add it on to when the car was brand new, I would say what? Don't round up. Don't round up. If I add 12 to this, in the year 2007, the car is worthless. Yes, you have to write a sentence.